Howdy all, I'm about to embark on another one of my DIY projects. What I'm going to try and make is an x-terra shaft, one of these. Okay, what I've got is some aluminium baluster rail. You can get it from an aluminium shop. They're all 1905 or 19.1 mil. The only difference is some of them have different thicknesses, but we'll talk about that later. I've got a piece of Dowel from Bunnings. There it is. Other way around. 25 mil Dowel. There we go. So give it a go. I've got some from Clark Rubber. Got some 6 mil hose, some grommets, wiring grommets from Super Cheap, some neoprene from Clark Rubber. I'm not too sure how I'm going to make the head. It's either with this one or this one. That is to make these things here, the grommets there. So decided on two materials that I could use, so I'll give them a go. Got my SpringButton clips, and we're all set to go. We'll have a fun and try and make an x-terra shaft. To make the grommets on the shaft, spent some time and eventually settled on this is one product that could be reasonable. It's 3/8 inch wiring grommets, or BH007, and another product is neoprene from Clark Rubber. This is 1.5 mil. You can get it in 3, 4.5. So I decided on the 1.5. So I'm going to just with this one here, I'm just going to mark it with a compass and mark a 25 mil diameter, and then drill it with a 1/4 inch drill, because your x-terra bolt's a 1/4 inch. And with this one here, I'm just going to put it on a pen, and I'm going to split it with a razor blade and trim off the center bit, because I just want the outside discs. So best way I think to cut that is on here, so I don't chop my fingers off. Okay, I've just cut the grommet in half, 3/8 inch grommet. Comes out about 3 mil once you've trimmed the center bit out. The hole is 9 mil, and this is 1/4 inch, which is 6.3. So to pad it out, I'm going to use some 6 mil hose, and I'll just put it in there, and I've just marked it. I'll just trim it off. Make sure you've got a nice razor. I've given up on using the neoprene idea, 1.3 mil. It doesn't matter what diameter it was, but trying to drill it's a bit hard, because this is quite a soft material, very clingy, clings to the drill, and you can't actually drill it. I've drilled that with a 1/4 inch drill, but it's probably about 5 mil ends up. So I'm going to persist with using the grommets, and that's going to be my shim for the bolts, so the grommet doesn't move around. Alright, that's the head piece done, the padding on the end of the shaft done, with a bit of hose in the middle. I'm not going to glue that on. You can just thread that through when you thread your coil on. That should hold. I'm thinking about gluing these somehow to the shaft, maybe with liquid nails or something like that, but I would expect that these would come off with time. But this is a pressure hold on the head of the shaft, so having that on there with that, we'll see how it goes. Okay, to help make my x-terra shaft head, I've got some 70 mil by 35 mil pine just from Bunnings, and I've drilled a 25 mil hole. That's just so I can help mark out the shaft heads. And I've also made a little jig to help hold the shaft when I'm drilling it. I just used wood glue to hold it together. Did try screws originally, but they were twisting the box out of alignment. So yeah, this is what I'm used to hold the shaft. So I place it on my drill bench like that, and drill down. That's the plan anyway. Now, to mark the center of the shaft, I'm going to put a shaft through this hole here, and I'm going to use a compass and just draw 3. Put a point. Put the compass in the next to the edge of the wood, and just draw some arcs with a compass, and that's going to help me get the center of the 25 mil diameter dowel. Okay, one more thing to add about the jig for holding for drilling. Make sure you drill a hole at the end so you can knock your dowel out. Otherwise, you might find the wood might get stuck in there and you've got to break your jig down to get it out, which I've already done once or twice already. So, dug a hole so I can tap it out, and when I place the wood, I get a piece of wood in, like so, pushes it down. Okay, that's actually in there quite firm, so to get that out I'll have to knock it out. And I've got some washers here that I'm going to, if I can't get that at the right height there, I can just place some washers in the bottom of the hole there, just to raise the dowel up. Right, I've just finished marking this piece of dowel for drilling. What it is, I've got this compass, I set it at 12mm, and just at 4 points around the hole, just use that to draw an arc, and that little square in the centre is the centre of the drill. So it makes it easier to drill when you're drilling with the flat bit. Yeah, next one, putting it in the jig and drilling it. Okay, I've drilled these, they're just over a 12cm piece of dowel. That's a 25 diameter mil dowel. Okay, I've drilled them with a 19mm flat bit. So out of the 90cm strip of dowel, I had enough to make 7 heads. Of those 7 heads, that's my first one, a demo. It shows you what it's going to end up like. Out of those 7 heads, 2 of them ended up duds, as you can see, drilled off centre. And this one's got a crack in it, so I'm going to put it in. This one here, it's too thin, it'll crack straight away, but I reckon I've got 5 hopefuls, those 4 there, and this one I made first time, which is my first time going through, so I'm going to take you through the rest of the procedure to make them. These holes, they're down 5cm in, so it's a 12cm long, 5cm hole. The flathead goes back 5cm as well. So now I'm going to make the head. What I'm going to do is draw a line across there in the centre. The width of the tongue is going to be 17mm. 17mm plus a 6mm for the grommets gives you 23mm. The x-terra head is 22.8mm. So that's the diameter I'm going to work off. So what I'll do is, I said, drill a hole, mark it, and 17mm across. On this one here, draw some lines down, saw it across there, down there with the mark lines, and chisel it off from the top down, and smooth it all out. That's the next stage. Okay, I've finished rounding off and smoothing out and cutting the heads. I've just got 2 here. I've left the thickness at approximately 17.5mm. This one's 17.5, this one is 17.6 approximately. So give me a bit of leeway. The grommets, make sure you smooth them off when you cut them. Together they're approximately 5.8mm. So together with this head here, they come up to approximately 23.3 mil distance for the head. Now the x-terra shaft, the head is approximately 22.8. Measuring a few coils that I have, you'll notice a big variance in the distance. This new 7.5 10-inch, its distance between the ears is 22.7 approximately. This well-loved Mine Lab, old serial number, medium frequency 9-inch concentric, it's 22.4 mil distance between the ears. The difference here, this high frequency 10 by 5 inch, 23.4 between the ears. This 10 by 5 high frequency, it's 23.0 between the ears. This 3 kilohertz new coil, only been used a few times, it's 23.7 between the ears measured, and this high frequency 6 inch is 21.9 between the ears. And with this particular style, they actually narrow down the further you go down. I've also got a watch sitting over on the rack, I haven't taken it out, but it's about 21.9 mil as well. Really hard to put the head down some of these coils. So anyway, point of all that was, with this particular head at 23.3 mil, I can easily place it in this one over here, this one here, and the high frequency one here. So I'm quite happy to just leave this one as it is and not actually trim any more wood off it. With this head here, I'm going to break it down so it fits the other coils. So I actually take the specs down to 22.8. Okay, why making it 22? Sorry, about 22.8 or 23 approximately, or 22.9 or something like that, to give a bit of compression on the rubber grommets. The reason I'm not going to take it anywhere below the 22.8 with this head, which I have to do a bit more filing, is that when I put it in between here and I put the bolt through, I actually don't want it to pull. When these coils were designed and made, they were made with the manufacturing stress in mind of, the manufacturing stress in mind of having a head of that thickness. So if I put it through here and this is too narrow, I don't want to crack the heads. You'd be really annoyed if you crack the ears on your $175 coil. I know I would be. So anyway, I'll file this one down, make it approximately 22.8, maybe 22.9, just to give a little bit of play with the rubber grommets. So for this one, as far as I'm concerned, it's done. There's two ways you can attach the rings to the head. One way I thought is actually using a bit of liquid nails and just gluing them in solid. Another way to assemble it is, which I'm thinking about doing on these ones, is actually not gluing them at all. So when I go to assemble them, I just put the rings on there like that, with my little, put the rings on, and just pop them in and tighten it up. So these will fall off, but with an extra head, what's likely to happen is I'm going to leave the shaft and head attached and just pull it out when I need it. The best thing I found for a detector shaft was actually aluminium baluster rail. This one here is 19.19 mil. This one here approximately 19.24. They both have different internal diameters as well. The shop says they're all about 19 mil, but this is the same diameter as the x-terra shaft, both of them. However, this bit here was 45 centimeters, and that cost me $5. This bit here is almost 2 meters, and that cost me $9. But go for the bit that looks thinner. This one here per foot is 20% lighter than this one. So yeah, so if this is 1 kilo, this would be 800 grams. So go for the lighter baluster rail. Okay, I'm getting ready to cut a few shafts. The depth of the hole with the flat bit is approximately 55 mil, and the best way I reckon to measure it up, just put a bolt through the end with the original one, stuck the pipe up, and I'm just going to mark and cut it, and take the burrs off, and then drill a 1/4 inch hole 38 mil back. The SpringButton clips, 0.64 of a centimetre, or 6.4 mil. Get them online. This is the time too, if you want an extra long shaft, just check on the inches here. Finished drilling the shaft ends with the SpringButton clip. Found I had to drill a 1/4 inch hole, as I mentioned before. I had to oval the hole a little bit to make sure that the spring buttons fitted in okay. Took all the burrs off both ends of the shaft. The other thing to check is, just before you go to fit it and glue it, is to see how far the shaft slides up. I happen to know the hole here is 5.58 centimetres. When I was just trying it out before, it only goes up to 5 centimetres. So, and that's to do with the fact that this shaft here is approximately 19.24 mil. This is done with a 19 mil flat bit. There's a bit of variance in it, but what I'm going to do, so I don't split the head when I insert this to full length, is I'm just going to take a bit of sandpaper and sand down this end down here a little bit, and just make sure that when I can fit it, before I glue it, just make sure it slides all the way in and it hits the back of the shaft head. You don't want to go to this length and then suddenly split your head by forcing the shaft down. Alright, back onto the shafts. I ended up having to change from this shaft to the paler shaft, even though it's a little bit heavy, because the diameter on the second part of the x-terra shaft would not take the 19.25mm. It's actually too thick for the shaft, so I had to go back to this one, which was 19.15, fitted in okay in the second part for a 705 and also on a 70 that I've got. So going to use this shaft. The heads I painted with 3 coats of matte black just to protect them. These heads are obviously not waterproof, so this is a shaft for land hunters, not water hunters. So the weight of the exterior shaft is 119 grams. A shaft with the blue one would be approximately 125, 130 grams. The shaft with the pale colour, pale yellow or beige, is approximately 140 grams. And I actually went to the aluminium shop and got some 19mm just plain steel. It's actually too thick. This with the head is 150 grams, so almost a 50% increase on the original, so I'm sticking with this one. So squaring it up on the detector, I'm going to mark a dot, got the head the right orientation, mark a dot, and I'm going to liquid nail it together. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, the shaft is now complete. I put a centimetre of liquid nails in the end, put liquid nails on the shaft, pushed it in, tidied it up around the edge with water. I'm going to let that dry for a week, and it's been drying for a couple of days, so a few more days before I use it. Just put the grommets either side, put it in the head, tighten it up, and away to go. That's just freestanding there. The only other comment I'd make is that this obviously is not a waterproof head, it's a water resistant head. The reason I painted the pine with black, a couple of coats, I wouldn't go submerging this, but I'm a land hunter, so that's fine for me. So yeah, so out of a piece of dowel, 90 centimetre piece of dowel, I ended up with 3 usable heads. The other 4 were damaged in the manufacturing process. So the next time I go to make these, I reckon I'll have a higher hit rate because I learnt a bit as I went along. So if you're game, give it a go. Had a lot of fun. Thanks guys.